Hey, yo, what's poppin'? Hey, yo, what's going on? How y'all doing? Monday Night Football. What's up? Second to last Monday Night Football. We get a butte last week. It ain't looking like that this week. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I probably won't watch a second of this game. I got a game night tonight with some buddies. I might watch a second if I see I'm going to be in bed by the fourth quarter, so I ain't going to see in the fourth quarter that I got a sweat going on. So, yeah, we got this football game tonight. This football game. Pretty ghost football game. You're probably going to see like a 24-7 score with very limited offense on both sides. Scoring for the Steelers, definitely, but in terms of seeing big passing performances, I wouldn't think so. I'm going to think there's going to be too much pressure to keep throwing the ball in the fourth quarter, the second half. Crazier things have happened in the NFL, but when you have a quarterback who, in my opinion, is worse than a lot of college quarterbacks right now, and a lot of them, Ryan Finley is bad. It is surprising to me that Ryan Finley is in the NFL. Sorry to his family members or anybody out there that's watching this. He's just bad. He has not really shown any competence ever. So his 4 yards per attempt that he averaged in the preseason was his best performances ever, and that's brutal. So what's up? Bunch of people in here. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are very, very close. Almost 300 subscribers away from 35,000, our goal by the end of the year. Thank you all so much. And also, if you're watching right now, the merch. The merch is in the shop, yo. What we got? The logo. Fucking blurry as shit right now. What you doing? Yeah, so we got the merch in the shop right now. It's down below. If you ain't got the merch right now, if you ain't got the hoodies, if you ain't repping a hoodie right now, nice little size bigger, so you got some bag in there for your swag, yo. This shit's so nice. Check it out down below. Super Draft is sponsoring the video, multiplier format. We're going to answer your questions. I see a bunch of questions come in. We're going to answer a bunch of your questions. A couple hundred people in here already. Appreciate you all a ton. A wild slate. James Conner's been ruled out. One of the only decent plays on the slate that looked like a nice option. It opens up a couple of decent plays. So it actually opens up a little bit more for this slate in terms of Jalen Samuels. Benny Snell opens up a little bit more value in Samuels. Secure value, quote-unquote secure value with Jalen Samuels. That maybe you can expect a couple of touches there in the receiving game. And that allows you to get up to a lot of the upper range of Pittsburgh. See a lot of people up in here right now. Somebody says, just play the Steelers bye, says Miguel Cracker. Yeah. We might have to get, man. Somebody says Sal's sleepy. Chamberlain says, yeah, man, I'm definitely fucking tired. This is my 5th piece of content today because I'm trying to load up a lot because I travel out Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. So I basically got today and Tuesday to get 5 pieces of content scheduled, maybe 6. When I'm home, I'm going to do the Christmas NBA video Christmas morning. Probably won't be able to do streams. Maybe I'll get that one dude out. Difficult with the travel, so I'm dead tired. We've been up since 4:30 and basically nonstop. I went on a 5-mile run, been using the nice little therapeutic to get nice after that, but I'm dead tired today from this content. Sitting in front of these lights, that shit makes you dead. I'll probably have a migraine by the end of the day. How's it going, Sal? How's it going, American Bold? How are you? So yeah, if you want to sign up for Super Draft multiplier format, there are some sneaky good plays on Super Draft, plays that if you don't have projections, you would never think to play. Like right now, I personally think that Ryan Finley is a top 3 Super Draft play tonight because his multiplier is 1.95x. Say what you want about Ryan Finley. If he basically scores 10 fantasy points tonight, he's going to be one of the top producers on Super Draft. My name's Sal. Go ahead and get your $Rooskies up to $1,000 bonus. Promo code SAL, S-A-L. On Super Draft, people keep waiting to play on Super Draft, and every day that goes by, it gets more saturated. Now with the NBA here, me promoting it, other people probably promoting it, it's going to continue to get more saturated. Right now, we have continuing to be the Honeywell, the honey hole of fantasy points. Not the glory hole, the honey hole of fantasy points. Oh, yikes. And $Rooskies over on Super Draft. So take advantage of it. Them hoodies are fire, says Devontae Thornton. Devontae Thornton, if you think these hoodies are fire, there's way more where this came from. So go ahead, get your booty into that store down below in the merch store and go get it. Hey, Sal, love the content. Who should I start, Jordan Rodgers or Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, Jordan Rodgers is a simp, so you got to go Aaron Rodgers there. Fellas, let's get it. Samuel, Super Draft, punt, captain, fellas. Yeah, so Samuel's on Super Draft for me is nowhere near in play. Samuel's is not going to be somebody that I have all that much interest in on Super Draft. Definitely not in the captain spot. If you think he can get a couple of fantasy points, that's fine. But even if you think he has an above-average game today, let's just say Samuels goes for, 8 fantasy points. That's where you start to become a decent option. You probably need a touchdown. So I guess it's not the craziest thing to have him there. He's a 2.3x multiplier. But, that would need to see Anthony McFarland inactive. We still need to see these inactives because if Anthony McFarland is active, he was inactive the last game, that takes away from Samuel. Definitely takes a hit to him. I wouldn't expect 7 touches again. So right now, Samuel I have projected for 5.5 touches. If Andy McFarland plays, it's going to be 3. So, and then you really have no value on this slate. What's up, Sal? What's going on, Cameron? How you doing? I see a lot of people up in here right now. What's up? Everybody but see. Trying to go back to see any of the questions. Claypool, and I like Higgins too. Yeah, Higgins has been very consistent this year, so we like in Claypool. Claypool's fine. I'm getting some. He's not like overwhelming interest of mine, but he's definitely fine. Concerned about the routes run being down as of late. I don't really think that means much for his game specifically. Like nothing that he's doing too wrong, so a little bit interesting to see that. I think it's just more of a smaller sample size if I really had to guess. You can tell that nobody really gives a shit about this slate. When normally, like at this point on these showdown slates, I mean, we've been live for like 5 minutes, but normally we have like 700, 800 people in here. Nobody gives a shit about these showdown slates. Also, in my defense, we usually go live at 6 p.m. We're going live a half hour earlier, so people are driving back from work, still working, all that type of stuff. Sal, you need to be on ESPN. I mean, if ESPN wants to have me on for some sort of interview, I have no idea why they would want to. Just some guy working from home. I don't think I would ever accept an ESPN job. Just doesn't fit for my personality. The pay would not be worth it either. I mean, you have to like go drive into an offense to make like what they're probably paying their anchors, or a lot of their anchors like $85,000. Would not be worth it for the situation that I'm in, and just the whole mindset of just working for ESPN, which is a dying company very slowly. I mean, if they can get ESPN Plus to be a good product and not a paywall product for all the decent stuff that's on there, maybe they can try and get some advertisers on that. But definitely a dying product when you see how much people that they're consistently laying off. What about Snell? Yeah, Benny Snell looks good now. I mean, Benny Snell sucks. Like, let's get that straight. I mean, this guy's not a good running back. He is one-dimensional running back. He can't even get in on the goal line, as you saw in that last game. Yeah, Benny Snell's not a good running back, but the last game that we saw him actually get some usage against, I believe, what was it, the Ravens, he sucked, and he just has sucked for a while now. It seems like we haven't had these Steelers. Next week, I think we get them on the main slate. We haven't had them on the main slate in a while. Benny Snell does project out for some good fantasy point projections. He is one of my top value plays today, but, I mean, the guy sucks. But good matchup now. Going to see probably 16-plus opportunities as long as he doesn't fumble. Just got done with my 30-minute stair run. Got up at 4:30, weight lifted, and then work 8 hours. I feel you, Sal. Now we're here to make that money. Yeah, man. Did a 5-mile run today. A couple of videos. Yeah. Big day as it's Christmas week. We want to be able to not have to do any work, or very limited work, we should say, from Wednesday to Sunday when I leave. Benny Snell kind of sucked last game. Seemed like they used Samuels a good bit. More so in the passing game, right? Had a couple of receptions there. Benny Snell still got the work on the ground. Yeah, Benny Snell's not great. It's going to keep his projection, I would assume, relatively low. Like if Benny Snell was coming off of a 16-point performance where he had like 80 yards and a touchdown, just got into the end zone, 60 yards and a touchdown, right? He's scoring double-digit points. His ownership would be a lot higher. But the recent performances from Benny Snell are keeping people sour on him, even though he's going to have one of the best matchups he'll see this year against this run defense of Cincinnati. Like Cincinnati secondary, very sneakily good, like borderline top 10. Mackenzie Alexander, former Viking. William Jackson continues to play well this year. So pretty sneaky good. Don't think that'll be too much of a match for these Pittsburgh receivers, but their run defense is where you would attack. And as 15-point favorites, I expect Benny Snell, as long as he doesn't fumble and he stays healthy and he's decently efficient, not like getting his first 8 carries for 0 yards, I would expect Benny Snell to see 15-plus opportunities. If Anthony McFarland is active, throws a little bit of a wrench into things, bumps down all the other receivers. Should you play Nasty Finley and Captain Naked for Superdraft? Yeah, you don't have to worry about stacking over on Superdraft. Again, if you're not familiar with Superdraft and you have any questions, let me know. It's a great spot to go and make a very good ROI, especially with the NBA starting tomorrow. Everywhere is going to be fun to play, but Superdraft is going to be insane in terms of people not adjusting for projections in the Superdraft multipliers and stuff like that. People are just going to be jumping into the streets. There's a lot of new people with a lot of money on Superdraft accounts right now. They're going to try and play some NBA and not know what the hell they're doing. But you can play Finley. You don't have to worry about stacking on Superdraft. The multipliers make it so that the correlation isn't the same. The correlation coefficients and like how powerful they are doesn't matter when it's crazy. You need a haircut bad, says Mike. Mike, as my grandpa could say, you can go F yourself. I'm not going to save you the other 3 letters. I got a haircut scheduled for tomorrow at 2, my man. Hop off. Why don't you? Sal, who you got, Washington or Boswell? I probably got more Boswell, but I mean, I prefer Washington. So right now I've got 9% more Boswell, but that's just like a price point thing. Boswell is what, a couple $100 cheaper? Yeah. And also the ceiling on, like if you're looking at ceiling lineups, Washington will be in them more. So I would take Washington. Play the Bengals equals all the money. Yeah, I mean, playing the Bengals is fine. You can play 3 threes, you play 4 twos. Probably not going to go 5-1 Bengals onslaught. Yeah. Your top captain, question mark? Yeah, it'll be one of these Pittsburgh receivers, Benny Snell. It's all pretty close. I currently have 5 captains, and it's all the Pittsburgh receivers, T. Higgins and Benny Snell. I got 1 lineup with Boyd. Yeah, I don't like the slate at all. Like normally I play like $500 on a showdown slate instead of like $3 to $5 grand on a main slate. This past Saturday and Sunday was fantastic for NFL. Second best weekend of the year. We had $5,500 in action yesterday for Sunday. Ended up winning 12-2. So whatever that is, that's like what, 90-something% profit. And then the day before that, on Saturday, Teddy Bridgewater bailed us out at the end, and really DJ Moore with some of those stacks and some higher stake stuff. So that worked out well. So I have no interest in playing that high of a amount tonight. Like I might play literally just like the $180 buy-in and like whatever the 150 max is, which probably still comes out to close to 500. But maybe I'll just do 150s and not single entry. I rarely play single entry. This slate's just disgusting. Like I usually will watch like the first half of football games. There's like a 0% chance I watch this game. There's no shot on a Monday night that this is what I'm spending my time. I mean, I also have plans, but 0% chance I'll even like check the score on my phone until like tomorrow morning. Snell is terrible. Yeah, probably. I'm saying as an ESPN personality. Yeah, I mean, the ESPN personality stuff would be fun. It's just I have no interest in working for ESPN. I don't know. I like the structure that I get to make, being the boss. ESPN doesn't allow personality. Yeah, that's the issue. You literally cannot break the fourth wall, and if you do, you have to be like very loose about it. And like when they break the fourth wall, you're like, "What the fuck's going on here?" Right? And they're just so awkward. Because look, these people that are working on ESPN, most of them, not all of them, there's some really good talents on ESPN. I mean, Scott Van Pelt is a GOAT, right? There's some really good guys on ESPN, but most of them learn the entire time to not break the fourth wall, to just talk to the camera, to not act as if there's like an audience on the opposite side of that actually thinks you're a human being and not a robot. And I mean, that's what you get. Now, when you try to tell them, hey, guys, let's try and, act like some of these guys like Pat McAfee and some of these other guys on the internet that are blowing up and stealing our revenue right now and taking our brand deals like FanDuel. Yeah, let's try and act like them. You get these 45-year-old men and women trying to like act kind of like quirky and stuff, and it's just awkward. And then you lay more people off. It's a dying business. For 150 max in general, what is your exposure max for yes compared to a maybe? It depends. Like these yeses and maybes, they're just all arbitrary, right? They're trying to tell you what my exposures are, just giving you an idea, but there's not some cutoff, right? A no is like 5% or less. A yes is probably like 25% or above, and a maybe is like in between that. But that's not always the case. It depends on the slate. Like these yes, maybes, and no's are literally just for the video, so you guys can have an idea of where I'm at. But they're probably the thing that I like hate the most that I actually have in this content. Because people will be like, you don't have this guy as a yes, and I'll be like, I got like 17% of him. I like him. I just don't have 25%, right? I don't like him as much as these other guys. So like it makes people think that I don't have interest in Ryan Finley. When I have interest in Ryan Finley, I got 30-something% of Ryan Finley. So he's very close to being a yes for me, but as a quarterback, that's relatively low. Normally on these showdown sites, I get like 40+% of the quarterbacks. So like I have a lot of Finley. I have 32%, but relative to what that normally is for quarterbacks, it's low. And I think I'll probably be right around the field on him. I have Finley projected out for 28% ownership, which is so low for a quarterback. I mean, that's how bad this guy is. I wouldn't be shocked to see whoever the fuck their third string is, second string tonight coming into this game. Damn, we're up to 550 people in here right now. You guys are the real deal coming all up in here. What the fuck, Sal? You got the personality for TV, bro? Yeah, I'll go on certain places. Like, I mean, if ESPN called me up right now and said, hey, let's do a Zoom in about fantasy football, of course I'd say yes, right? But if they offered me up and said, hey, here's $85,000 to be an ESPN anchor, move to Connecticut and do this, I'd be like, no, that sounds terrible. Like, that sounds so bad. So I did an 11.5 mile run this morning. Very nice, yeah. I plan to do more runs next year when I can actually go and do these runs. I plan to do a lot more hiking. Me and my buddy, I'm going to try and plan a trip with my buddy to just try and hike like a lot of these peaks. Start off small, get a lot more gear, and just hike a bunch of peaks. Go like a couple times a year to some of these crazy peaks and just start hiking them. What's your player props? I don't have any player props in for this game tonight. I want like as little exposure to this game while still having some exposure as possible. Fellas. Monday, best day of the week, baby. Yeah, Monday is by far the best day of the week, Joseph. You got that right. Is Snell super bad? I feel like he's not getting any love. He's a really bad football player. Yeah, he's one-dimensional. He's not great. He doesn't break tackles. He's slow. He's a plotter. But if he gets 16 touches in this game, if they're going to move the ball and he gets 5 red zone carries, if he gets a touchdown, he'll probably be in a lot of winning lineups. Because if he's getting a touchdown, he's probably scoring around my projection of 12 points. And if that's the case at his price point, he's probably going to be in winning lineups. And his touchdown prop is relatively high because they're huge favorites, and he's projected out for a good amount of touches. In a blowout, could you run Snell and Samuel lineups? Yeah, I think Snell and Samuel is fine to do. I'm not going to run 2 of the Bengals running backs, but I right now have my lineups allowing 2 of my... That's a good question. I have my running backs... rules set to limiting of 1, excluding the Steelers guys. So because Samuels is so cheap, I'll let him get in those. But the big caveat is in an hour and 5 minutes, 65 minutes, we'll know if Anthony McFarland is active or not. Last game, he was inactive. Coach's decision. They just said, you're not being active tonight. Screw it. We'll see if that happens again. Because if it does, then yeah, he's a little bit better. Deontay or Juju in the captain spot? I currently have more Deontay. Tyler Boyd, question mark? Yeah, I got Tyler Boyd in 15%, 16% of my lineups, including the captain, where I have 1%. So I got a decent amount of Tyler Boyd. Over 600 people. You think we'll get 1,000 people for this game tonight? This wild game tonight? Some people's matchups, potentially, anybody in here needing something tonight to get into their fantasy championship? Maybe we'll give you some of that good mojo. Look at that little dance. Hey. And if you're just getting in here, because earlier there's only like 100 people in here. If you're just getting in here right now, the hoodie that we got up on right now, hey, yo, the fellas, the merch. Hit up the merch store down below. What are you doing? It's Christmas time. Treat yourself to a gift. There's a ton of different combinations. Let's go. Who would you be cramming into every lineup? On this slate, probably nobody. I guess the answer to that is probably, I got 77% Big Ben. That's probably around the field. Big Ben is my highest owned player, I believe, right now. Let me see. Actually, Benny Snell's my highest owned player, so that sounds disgusting. But yeah, Benny Snell's my highest owned player, and then Big Ben. If you're playing one lineup, I would probably try to get to Juju or Deontay, though. I think those guys are more so of priorities. But Snell looks fine. Yeah, he looks really good in terms of a projection standpoint, how the game flow goes. Is Ebron a good play today? Yeah, I think he's fine as well. You think if Johnson drops some balls, he's going to get benched? Yeah, probably. I mean, if he got benched for like 2 series last week after dropping another pass or 2. So yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, 10 drops so far this season is just inexcusable. Sal, how do you apportion your Dollaruskis? What DraftKings contest do you play and why? I like to play small field contests. If I play a contest that's over 1,000 people in it, it's probably a 150 max contest, and I just do that because I think I have an edge in creating 150s. I think I understand rules and exposures and ownership and things like that more than the average person playing 150s, and I do well there. But my favorite contest to play are single entry and 3 max that are less than 500 people. So being less than 500 people is by far the best contest to play in. Playing in the Millie Maker is fun. It's flashy. You're going to play it tonight. You're going to lose your $20, whatever the buy-in is. I don't even know what the buy-in is for the Millie Maker because I don't play it. Occasionally, like this past week, I put my main single entry lineup into the Millie Maker because I would have major FOMO if I knocked down all these $20,000, $15,000, $10,000 contests because that's normally the top prize in the contest that I play. One of them was a $50,000 contest this week, and I played the 555 and did very well. We had the Kyler to Hopkins stack. We had our man Tony P. We had Ayuk in that lineup, and Ayuk was at relatively low ownership in that contest because I think of his price point, the way that it worked out with some of the other guys people wanted to play. But yeah, small field contest. It just makes sense, right? If you're playing in a contest with 200,000 people, even if you were the best person in that contest, your edge is so small, you can't even see it because that's how many people you're playing. It's a lottery. If you're playing in a contest with 300 people, I mean, you still have a less than 1% chance of winning just based on 1 out of 300, right? But you set yourself up to at least hit the cash line more often. When you make more bold stances, if you make a bold stance in that contest and it pays off, you're winning the damn contest instead of in the Millie Maker finishing like 7,000th for making your bold decision. So, yeah, you'll never win the Millie Maker. I'm sure there's going to be, I mean, obviously, right? There's people every single week that win the Millie Maker, and that could be you next week, but that's exactly what keeps you on the hook to keep playing, right? It could be you in 20 years after you put $1.5 million into DraftKings. You'll win the Millie Maker back, and then you lose half of it in taxes, and you're still down $1 million, but nobody really thinks that. That's like the people who play the lottery. I won $30,000. How much have you put in your life? Yeah, probably like $95,000, and you won $30,000 and lost half of it, or 40% of it. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the game, right? Odds are most people, even if you win the lottery, odds are most people have actually lost more trying to win the lottery. It's simple, but attractive when you see the $1 million in there, right? I lost in the season long. Metcalf and McLaurin haven't produced in a while. McLaurin had a decent week, right? 7 catches this past week, 70-something yards. Sal, you're the wind beneath our wings. Let's make some Dollaruskis for the Brewskis. Hey, there's some nice merch Dollaruskis for the Brewskis in the store. Yeah, for sure, man. I love it. Have fun losing all your Dollaruskis tonight because you were more focused on another man's hair, somebody said. I think he's just joking. He said, never said you look bad. Trying to F myself now. Not working. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's all good. Hit the like, everyone. It's the holiday season. Is Sal giving more than that fat guy in the red suit, says Anthony. Hey, Anthony, too kind, my man. Yeah, hit the like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 35,000. I don't know what the fuck that means. It's just a flat number that sounds like a good way to end the year. What do we got in here? We got a lot of people asking questions right now. Somebody says ESPN is terrible. Yeah, I don't really watch ESPN much. I sometimes watch Fox Sports stuff because I think some of those personalities, or at least I like to watch them, not even for what they're saying, but just like the way in which they say it, the way in which they phrase questions, like Colin Cowherd. Shannon Sharp is just fantastic in terms of the way that when he talks, it's very powerful. But I don't give a shit what those people say. I obviously am not listening to them for sports advice or debate, right? I literally watch those guys sometimes when I eat lunch or breakfast just to kind of study the way in which they use their vocal cords when they're talking, the way in which they capitalize, the way in which they try to spin some stuff, right? It's kind of like a totally different reason why I watch it. Somebody says, let's talk fantasy. My man Russell, we're going to talk whatever the fuck I want to talk about on the Sal Vetri YouTube channel. Russell, and you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to take that as a, oh shit, all right, yeah, this guy, respect. Or you're welcome to go and put your tail in between your legs and go, fuck this guy and get out of here. But we're going to talk whatever we want. Whatever the chat's feeling, we're going to talk about. Is Connor out tonight? Yeah, it seems like he's out. Adam Schefter tweeted some stuff. What do we got? Sal, my guy, I need 20 points for fantasy to go to the chip. Deontay and the Steelers D PPR. You think I got it? Yeah, I think you got it pretty easily there, my man. I think you got it pretty easily there. You're probably going to win by 5 points more times than not. We just trying to win some money. For sure. My man said, this is my night to win big. Hey, I have so many 5-1s and 4-2s on the Steelers onslaught. How about you? I have... Yeah, I'm probably going to avoid 5-1s. Because it's going to go over own tonight, which normally doesn't go over own, but I think it's going to go a little bit over own for how often it actually works. So I'm going to probably avoid 5-1s tonight. So I'm going to set a rule to actually get out of 5-1s. Just because because of how many Steelers are projected. Like, I do think it's more likely than most nights that a 5-1 actually takes down the slate tonight. 5 Steelers, 1 Bengal, that is. But I think I'm going to try and avoid it. I think I might just fade that and just go 4-2s and 3-3s only. Because of how, like, I'm getting like 50% 5-1 onslaughts. I don't fucking want that, right? Like, that is so easy to not work out for you. So easy to not work out for you. Just basically 2 Bengals have to score 12 points tonight in fantasy, and you're probably killing all those lineups. And I think that's a pretty decent chance it happens. Oh, God. Okay, I just saw this other slate. This is my show notes from the other night. I was like, where all these motherfuckers come from? Hey, Sal, who are you going with at captain tonight? My man. Let me tell you right now. I'm going to my captain spots. Oh, drumroll, please. I got a lot of Deontay, a lot of Benny Snell, a lot of Juju, and then pieces of T. Higgins and Chase and Tyler Boyd. But a lot of my ownership is in Deontay, Juju, and Benny Snell in the captain spot. I believe right now like 80% of it is. Is A.J. Green a bad flex play? I mean, he's my lowest owned wide receiver. I think he's bad relative to every other wide receiver on the slate, just skill set wise and all that. His quarterback sucks, right? His quarterback is going to throw short passes, so who benefits from that? Maybe Drew Sample. Don't really think too much. Probably Tyler Boyd, probably T. Higgins. A.J. Green really relies on outside passes to the outside. T. Higgins does to a little bit, but not. He'll actually move into the slot some. So it's a little bit tough to get there. Need 8 points from Juju, half point. You got him, my man. What's up, Sal? What's going on, Jake? How you doing? Who's the backup running back for the Bengals? Williams or the other guy like P. Ryan? I think it's going to be a little bit of a mix there. Trevor Williams, the second-year player that was banged up last year. I think it was an ACL. 6th-round pick. Is he out of A&M? Trevor Williams is somebody that is maybe the best running back on the current active roster. Ahead of Giovanni Bernard, I think. So definitely ahead of P. Ryan. So I think it'll be a split behind Gio. Gio got hurt last game. Gio fumbled for the first time in 830 touches last game. I mean, this is not Trevor Williams' backfield. I think it should be, but I don't think they're going to do that just yet. They still gave Gio the second year of his contract. He's playing that out. I think that keeps him on the field more. But Gio played 25 snaps last week, 23, after playing 77 in back-to-back weeks. Like, that fumble for the first time in 830 touches is not the reason he got pulled. He got a little bit banged up on an ankle injury, I think it was lower body. So Trevor Williams and P. Ryan getting a lot of touches last week. That could happen again, but I think it's unlikely. I want the Steelers to win tonight. There you go. What Cincy running back do you have the highest exposure to? Yeah, I'm not really owning these. I guess Giovanni Bernard. Yeah, Giovanni Bernard would be the answer for you there. Take care, all. Merry Christmas, says Mike. Merry Christmas, my man. Merry Christmas. Chase Claypool is awesome. Yeah, he is. He's fantastic. Love the YouTube channel that he's got. I really like Williams running back tonight. Trevion Williams, yeah, I mean, I just don't know if he'll get the touches. That's the issue. That's the issue for him. Who do you think is the best team right now? The Green Bay Packers, by far. No, it's the Chiefs, by far. Hard to see Snell out-snapping Samuels, in my opinion. Why do you say that? Why do you think that Snell would not out-snap Jalen Samuels? Or actually, why do you think it's hard to see? So what you're saying is that you think there's like a 75%, if you're thinking that it's hard to see the other way, you think it's doubtful. You say that there is a 75% chance that Jalen Samuels out-snaps Benny Snell tonight. Do you have some inside information? And out-snaps, I mean, maybe, right? I mean, you saw 48% of the snaps last week for Jalen Samuel. That was good to see. But maybe. Doesn't mean out-touch? No. They also played on the field at the same time together, so that's also going to increase both people's snaps. Is 3 pass catchers for the Steelers too much? Depends who they are. I'm probably not going to the 3 wide receivers and Claypool. I mean, I would go down to maybe Washington because he's cheaper, but you can go to like Ebron and Juju and Deontay, yeah. Are you playing anybody from Cincy? Of course I am. Juju or Deontay? Deontay. I played my first one week 1. This is this year in Super Draft and won, but I'm a genius. Hey, shout out to you. Man, I just said Super Draft, and Siri thought I said Siri, and now I'm saying it again, so we can't do that. Damn, we got a lot of people up in here right now. What's up, what's up, what's up? Claypool or Washington? I got more Claypool in the captain. I don't got any Washington captain. I got more Claypool right now. Are you playing 100% Roethlisberger? I am not, no. Thoughts on Trevion Williams? I have 0% Trevion Williams right now. Yeah. I mean, Giovanni Bernard got hurt and fumbled last week. I don't think the fumble really had much to do with it. Talk about the low-priced options. Any sleepers? I mean, Jalen Samuels, if Anthony McFarland is out, will be an option there for me. I think either way he's decent, but if Anthony McFarland is in and active, they're going to give him touches. It might only be 2, but that takes away from Jalen Samuel. I think Jalen Samuels is the best low-priced option tonight. You can go to P. Ryan if you really want. I have some exposure there, but not a lot. Samuels plays when they are losing. Yeah. I mean, that's also true. He plays when they are losing. He'll play in some neutral game scripts as well. That's why Benny Snell looks like the much better play today. But Samuels is $800, so if he catches 2 passes for 17 yards and 3 carries for 10 yards, you're getting something out of that to pay up for more. I don't think you need it, but it's something. I currently have 19% Jalen Samuels. Jalen Samuels should really be a maybe, honestly, because I only have 19%. He doesn't really cross the 25% threshold to be a yes at his position. So he's more so like that. Green or Washington? Washington for me, my man. Yo, Sal, who's your best value with a substantial upside? Probably James Washington. If you're looking for a guy who can score like 15 plus as a quote-unquote value. Not a lot of value on the slate, though. Like, there's not that many cheap options that are even in play. Outside of the kickers and defenses, below $5,000 is Jalen Samuel. And, like, maybe you want to take a chance on... or below $5,000 is James Washington, and maybe you take the chance on Jalen Samuel, right? There's not much on the slate. Super Draft, favorite Super Draft captain. Benny Snell looks good. Ryan Finley will be a low-owned captain as a really good multiplier as well. Samuels will out-touch Snell, somebody says. Yeah, I mean, if the Steelers get down by 20, I think that's a possibility. Hey, Sal, thanks again for the awesome content. You rock. How do you feel about the Steelers D at the captain for tonight? Let's get those Dollaruski, says Chris. The Steelers D in the captain spot, I think, did I allow it in there? The Steelers D in the captain spot is actually a real thing tonight because the Steelers D can score like 10 points just from pitching a shutout. And like that's massive, especially on a slate where there's not that much scoring upside. The problem with the Steelers D in the captain spot is you really have to have a lot go right for you because they're so expensive. The second Deontay Johnson catches 70 passes for 80 yards and a touchdown, the Steelers D is not getting in the captain unless they have 2 defensive scores, right? If there was ever a week for a defense to be the captain, it is this week with only a 12.5 implied total against. But you need Juju, Deontay Johnson, to stay out of the end zone, to stay out of scoring 20-plus points. Because odds are they'll be your captains even at more expensive price points because, I mean, realistically, like the Steelers, I've been projected for around 10 points. Realistically, like they have a ceiling in the 20s, yes, 2 touchdowns. Realistically, like a really good performance is 15 points out of them, 22 in the captain spot. If you get a guy to score 20 points tonight, they're just going to be the captain over that, even if they are a little bit more expensive. I'm 15-0 in DraftKings Survivors, but 4,900 people left with 2 weeks to go. Prize is $1 million. This is my first time ever playing Survivor. Nice, my man. Nice. Congrats. Hope you binked that thing. Hey, Sal, ordering my hoodie tonight. Yours looks comfy. Man, this shit is comfy. Order a size up. That's the trick. So I usually wear larges in hoodies, or at least that's what the ones in my closet are. I got an XL. I got a large and an XL, and I gave my girlfriend the large. And like I tried the large on just to see, and it fits. It's not like it's like riding up me or anything, but it's a little snug. The XL, you get some room in there. But yeah, check out the merch down below. That merch, I'm not making a fortune on that merch. I literally got that merch so you people can go and buy it. Like, I'm making it very close to at cost. Like, it's a very small profit line. So it was actually worth my time and trying to make the money back on having designs made up and stuff like that. But it's made so people like you can go ahead and buy it and wear it and have some comfy, actual nice clothing. And for myself, too. Like, there's not a lot of clothes out there that I like. A lot of them are just, they all look the same. They're all overpriced. Who's your favorite Cincinnati play tonight, Mr. Sal? You didn't say Mr. Sal, but I kind of added that in there. So the question on the Steelers captain, yeah, I think just to close the door on that, I think you can put the Steelers in the captain spot. I'm going to run a crunch with the Steelers in the captain spot and see how much of them I get. I'd assume I get some. So I'm running a crunch right now with Steelers in the captain spot, and it's looking like I'm going to get like a decent amount. Like if I run this, I'll get like 5% Steelers captain. That's probably less in the field though. Do you have an NBA tutorial video coming out? No, I don't. I just don't want to spend the time on it, honestly. I made one like a year or 2 ago, so you can go find that. It's kind of old, but it still works. There is a checklist down below in some of my YouTube descriptions. It might be in this one as well for NBA, but I'm sure there's some other tutorial stuff out there. Yeah, I just don't want to spend the time doing it. Like, if this wasn't Christmas week, if this was October, I might put a video out, like a quick one, but I got so much content stuff to put out that putting a video out that's going to get like 800 views and not be worth my time is and take 3 hours of work during a busy week. It's just not going to be there. McFarland is in. Nothing next to his name and says he should see more work. Yeah, Ian, that's just not the case, though. So I like appreciate you looking into that for us, but He was a healthy scratch last week, so he's not hurt. He was not playing last week because the coach said, we don't want you playing to this week. You are not making the roster, right? We don't have enough right now. We have other bodies that we would rather play. So that's what a healthy scratch is. It happens a lot in the NBA. So a healthy scratch is just, it's what happened to Leonard Fournette last week before Ronald Jones got on the COVID list, right? Happened to Mark Ingram this week. You're just a healthy scratch. The team just doesn't want to use you, right? They don't think you're worth the roster spot. So yeah, I do think that if McFarland, you're not going to know if McFarland is in or out for another 50 minutes. Also, my salad from Chopped is done in 30 minutes, so we might only have to go another 20 minutes because I got to go get that. Just noticed your fella hoodies has the same colors as Super Jeff. Was that intentional? No, not at all. Not at all. If you look at my YouTube channel, my podcast, my Twitter, everything is the light blue colorway. Everything on my stuff. That's kind of like what's I've been branded in, I guess you can say. Like all this colorway right here, everything, even some of my videos, the thumbnails, everything is in that colorway. I like it a lot. Anthony says, with your love of rushing QBs, I'm surprised you didn't have a yes for Hurts yesterday. So I actually liked Hurts in single entry and 3 max. I love rushing QBs. Hurts 7K next week looks pretty good as well. But there's just better options, right? So Hurts, first of all, even yesterday you saw it. You don't really know who to stack him with, right? Goddard and Rieger got 8 targets each. Goddard, if he doesn't drop a touchdown, actually has a pretty nice game, right, overall. But they both got 8 targets each, but the ball was spread around everywhere. I mean, Quez Watkins, Travis Fulgham came alive. Alshon's running 30 routes. Both tight ends are in play. You have Sanders running 25 routes. It's hard to really pin that down. I liked him. We talked about it on the Closing Thoughts podcast on Patreon. He was a good option primarily as a single entry or 3 max naked quarterback, and that worked out in a major way. But there's a big old booty. Our single entry lineup, the main lineup that we also put into 3 maxes, was a single stack with Kyler and Hopkins and a no run back. No run back. I put Jordan Akins instead of Goddard. That actually worked out. Akins scored 10 points, and that was the lineup that really got us there in a lot of spots. Turned yesterday, Sunday, 5,500 into 12,200. How tall are you? I am 6 foot flat. I really haven't measured myself in like 2 or 3 years, though, so I was 6 foot then. I assume I'm still that height. Who's your favorite Bengal? Too bad we have to start one. Yeah, I mean, there's some good Bengals. You have wide receivers that have upside. It is a tough matchup, yes. Joe Hayden, we'll see if he's in or out. That will be actually a pretty big news. I think that my favorite Bengal, it's either going to be, it might be T. Higgins tonight. He's very consistent. It's him or Tyler Boyd. They're going to have the easiest options in terms of just quick passes. Giovanni Bernard is interesting to like if he gets short passes, if he has like a 6 reception game for 50 yards that can get you there. But Giovanni Bernard on the ground might be staring at like an 8 rush attempt for like 6-yard game. It's brutal to go to Giovanni Bernard on the ground. So I'm going to be leaning to the receivers, T. Higgins and Boyd in that order. Is 5-1 the only way to go tonight? You're going to get a lot of 5-1s, and I'm kind of probably going to avoid that. I'm going to probably try to actively avoid that. Smizzle says to use T. Williams. Thoughts? I mean, if you want to look at the last game log, he had a lot of usage, but Giovanni Bernard got banged up in that game, fumbled as well. Again, it was his first fumble in 830 touches. I don't think that's why they benched him. He got hurt. He had an ankle injury. It was reported during the game. He only played 23% of the snaps last week, so I don't think that this is Trevion Williams' backfield. I think it should be, but again, we cannot think what we think should be happening. You got to play it by the coaches. I do think that Giovanni Bernard is going to come out and see at least 50% of the snaps, which limits Trevion Williams, especially in a bad matchup, right? Let's keep in mind, they're huge underdogs against a number 1 rush defense. Even if Trevion Williams saw 8 touches, I don't like his chances, right? 8 touches for 30 yards, you're not doing anything with that. Now, if he comes out and he's the full workhorse back for 15 opportunities, maybe, but I don't think so. Sorry, just got him. Which Bengal player has the best upside? Either T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd. I think Higgins has the most upside downfield, but I don't trust Finley to really connect on those. It's there, but Boyd probably has the most upside in terms of volume. Like Boyd, I could see catching 6 passes, 40-something yards, and maybe a touchdown, which that's rough if that's like your best upside from volume tonight. Williams might get some work in the first quarter, but once Cincinnati falls behind by 20, they won't be running much. Yeah, I mean, they're all going to get work. P. Ryan will be somewhat involved. He's been playing snaps 35% or more in 3 out of the last 4 games. Bernard, again, very under the radar, it seems. He's played with an injury last week. Seems to be fine this week, was practicing. Best Cincy play on FK. What is FK, my man? What is FK? Yo, Sal, any interest in double Steelers running backs? Yeah, I'll allow that to get into my lineups. I think it's fine. I don't think it's optimal, but I'll allow it to get into my lineups. Yep. Yes. I do think Ryan Finley is going to be underappreciated, if that's the right word to say, underrated tonight. Look, if a quarterback's going to be 30% owned or less on a showdown slate, like total ownership for Ryan Finley is going to be around 30%. He might get pulled in this game by like the second quarter. I'm not going to lie. This pass rush is going to maybe devour him. But for his 8K price point, he's got to score you like 14 points. And although I don't have him projected for that, he's going to have, if he stays healthy and doesn't get pulled in this game, 30-plus opportunities to get you to 14 points. He has some mobile upside if he runs for 30 yards, right? So I don't love Ryan Finley. I'm a little bit above the field right now by like 10%, or at least my projected ownership. Again, if you want to support on Patreon, all that stuff, you can check it out. Definitely on SuperDraft, Ryan Finley looks good. I think he's being a little bit disrespected, and I have literally shit on this man's name, and his family probably hates me if they're watching this from both the videos, this stream and that, just saying how bad he is, because he is. He's like 4 yards per attempt in his career. 3.9 is atrocious this year. But he's an $8,000 quarterback with not that much ownership on a slate where he probably has to get you 14 points to pay off. Could happen. How about a non-Steelers onslaught lineup? So non-Steelers. So you're saying 5 Bengals, 1 Steeler? Uh-oh. You're getting real crazy now. Sal, what is your username on DraftKings? SallyBoy96. Snell just sucks so bad. Yes, he does. Any interest in Green, AJ Green? I have a 10% AJ Green, so he's not much. He's one of my lowest owned players. First touchdown guess? Yeah, I don't have much interest in those. Those are fun, right? From what my buddies will bet on, like first touchdowns, so we could have something to cheer for. We'll bet on all kinds of shit. We'll play some roulette on the TV. But if I'm not in that environment, right, drinking some scotch or something and just fucking around, bourbon. If I'm not in that environment, I don't really have much interest. I mean, the best chance for first touchdown, I'd say, is Benny Snell, but he's probably the lowest odds. I'm not playing Benny in cash. Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be playing cash anyways. Benny ideal in a cash game. Again, cash on a showdown slate, especially on this. Not what I'm trying to do. But yeah, in a cash game, Benny Snell looks decent as a value. FK is DK by looking at my keyboard, somebody says. Hey, the over on yards is similar between Bernard, Pirine, and Williams. The over-under on the yardage props? Yeah, I'll take Bernard there. I think they're all not going to do much. Hey, Sal, who do you like on SuperDraft? I like Benny Snell on SuperDraft. I like Ryan Finley a lot on SuperDraft, and I think the dislike for him in every other site will keep his ownership on SuperDraft down. I'm not saying this guy can't get pulled, but he has a 1.95x multiplier in SuperDraft. If Ryan Finley scores 11.5 points tonight, 11.5 DraftKings points, he's basically going to be one of the top 3 scorers on SuperDraft, which is what you need in a winning lineup. Mr. Sal, do you collect sports cards? I personally do not, but my brother has a sports card channel. You can check it out, Stephen Vetri. What's up, Sal? What's going on, Carlton? How you doing? How much Samuels do you have? Mr. Jalen Samuels, this will change depending on if Anthony McFarland is active in 44 minutes. I have Mr. Jalen Samuels in 18% of my lineups. Any interest in McFarland? If he's active, I will update some stuff, my man, and I probably won't have interest, but it'll lower my interest in Jalen Samuels, so it's important to see that. Might even lower my interest in Benny Snell. Washington in the captain spot, I don't have any right now myself. Juju or Deontay? I have more Deontay right now. I got 18% more in the captain spot. Overall, I got about 30% more Deontay. Any Bengals D in a 3-max entry? Not for me. I currently have I have 15% Bengals defense because they're just so goddamn cheap tonight. And like they literally just need to score 6 points. But probably not. Advantage of your Patreon over other lineup optimizers. Well, my Patreon's not a lineup optimizer, so that is not the same comparison. I don't have any lineup optimizers are like a third-party tool. Like no matter who you are, people either use SaberSim, Fantasy Cruncher, and they attach it to their website. Roto-Grinders might have their own in-house one, but Patreon is projections, ownership, rankings, value, all that type of stuff that I actually do myself. I do them myself. They're successful, whereas I would say 95% of the sites in this industry are just scraping like a data site and taking the same ones and all using the same ones. It's like when you go to the store and you see ketchup and there's 20 different ketchups. Literally 18 of those ketchups are the exact same, maybe like 15 of those ketchups are the exact same ketchup. It's just white labeling. They're just putting a different label on it, but it's literally the exact same ingredients. They're made in the exact same factory. It's the same thing with New Balance and North Face. New Balance and North Face makes the exact same clothes. The material of North Face is the exact same of the New Balance jackets. They're nice because North Face is nice because New Balance is the exact same for a third of the price. So next time you go into a New Balance store and you see a nice little jacket, because I got a couple, just be like, damn, this is 33% off if I was in the North Face store right now. Is Connor likely in? No, he's likely out. Higgins or Bernard? Higgins. Higgins or Boyd? Higgins. Any Claypool love? Yeah. Why no yes to Chase Claypool? What do you mean? Because I don't have an overwhelming amount. I like his other receivers in his offense more. I was right on Tannehill, wrong on Brady. Didn't mention Ryan. Thought they were better options than Watson this past week. Says Anthony. Yeah, I just don't really play these. Look, so if Matt Ryan is not going to have Julio, I'm not playing him. Especially if they have a bad point projection. Tannehill, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. I'm not playing him. I'm just never going to play the stationary quarterbacks. Same thing about Brady. I'm not going to play these guys. If they don't have any mobile upside or they're not playing extremely well this year. Like Rodgers has a little bit of mobile upside, playing extremely well. And if they don't have secure stacking options, which Tannehill barely has, an overpriced Corey Davis and overpriced A.J. Brown, I'm just not going to ever play those guys. And it has not hurt. It hurt me 1 week this year, the week where there was like no good quarterbacks in the slate. And you like it was the week where the Browns blew out the Texans or the Titans and the Titans played from behind. But yeah, Kyler Murray, I assume Kyler Murray balled out over all those other guys. He was fine. Mahomes was fine, but obviously overpriced. But Murray, Deshaun Watson was good. Deshaun Watson threw for almost 400 yards, right? 2 touchdowns. Sal, love the show and the merchandise. Keep it going. Much respect from a Raleigh, NC neighbor. My man's in Raleigh as well. Shout out to you, my man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sal, can you repeat your brother's sports cards website or put a link down below? So it's not a website. It's just a YouTube channel, my man. So like you're on YouTube right now on whatever device. Just Steven Vetri. Steven Vetri, yep. He collects a lot of sports cards. He has a ton at home. I used to a lot as a kid, but not anymore. Anthony says, Mahomes in a tough matchup. How can you get off him because of who he is? And Kamara at the high ownership, we could have pivoted. No, Kamara was a really good play for me. Tony Pollard became the best play on the slate once he opened up, and luckily he produced. 40-yard touchdown at the end was a big one for us. But Kamara was in my main lineup, so was Pollard. It's hard to get away from Kamara. Obviously, he gets you there with like that 14-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter, but really hard to get off of Kamara. I don't even know how many points did he end up putting up. I can try and open up my DraftKings app right now. But I assume he put up over 30 points, right? Had the touchdown, had a decent amount of receiving yards towards the end there. I think he had like 70 rushing yards. So yeah, no, I thought Kamara was somebody that's really difficult to get off of I finished 5,000 in the Million Maker yesterday in my highest lineup. How about that? Kamara yesterday had 18.4. Fuck. Not great. No, I probably would not have gotten off of it. Rodgers or Boyle for captain. Rodgers for me today. Tannehill was just a good leverage play. Maybe. I mean, every single quarterback is, except for like 4 or 5% or lower, so you could say that for all of them. Sal, that Tyler Johnson last week killed me. I should have left him in. Would have hit on that. Interesting. Tyler Johnson from the Jets, running back, right? Do you project Green for more points than Sample? P.S. Love the content. 2 more subscribers. Hey, thank you. Yes, I do have Green for more fantasy points than Drew Sample tonight. I do indeed. Matt Ryan is horrible. Yeah, I mean, he's fallen off this year. He's still throwing a lot, which is good. Still picking up yardage for fantasy reasons. He's pretty decent. But falling off a little bit. Part of that could be Julio hasn't been healthy for more than half of the year. Really missed some games as well. But yeah, he's had some big games. Why no cash on a showdown slate? Because I don't play cash really in general, but I would never play in a showdown slate because cash games are supposed to be your safe funds, your ETFs, right? If you're not familiar with that, index funds, your bonds for another type of investment if you're talking about financial terms, right? They're supposed to be your stable investments. The cash games are supposed to be what's there for you. I don't care about cash games personally, but for the people that do and treat it as sacred, your cash games are supposed to be the things that save you when you suck in the GPPs. When your GPPs flame out, hey, maybe you won in cash, right? Anchor that blow a little bit. Hey, maybe you sucked in cash, but you didn't lose 100%. You only lost like 50%, so you still have something there, right? Well, you're supposed to be safe. The least safe game mode to play is a showdown slate where everything is highly variant. Everything's highly variant, right? You have not that much of an edge over your competitors. Maybe you know James Conner's out. Maybe you know his backups. Maybe you know what that projection is compared to some people. But you don't have much of an edge because it's so highly randomized that even your edge is not secure. Whereas on a 10-game, a 12-game, a 13-game main slate, you have so many options to choose from that you know exactly the right spot to find the best value. You're just forced to pick value tonight, and it might be shit. So that's why other people you guys are all choosing from like 15 viable plays tonight. You all got a roster, 6? That's why it's not that great. You have not that much of an edge, and it's highly variant. You will not, long-term, probably win anywhere near the same amount as you will in cash games on a main slate as you will on a showdown slate. Now, they're fun. So that whole example was if you're trying to win money. If you don't give a shit about winning money, and you just want to have some fun tonight, and you want to just put it in a headset so you can just beat one guy, then yeah, go for it. Like, that's fine, right? 6:15, I might go and get my salad that we ordered. Got to go pick it up. Sal, Ebron captain spot, not for me. Was Winston a mobile QB when he was on Tampa? Yeah, Winston was pretty mobile. Winston was like underratedly mobile on Tampa. But I mean, he's also in an offense where they're throwing 45 times per game downfield, and the guy's just an absolute weapon when he's throwing pick sixes and allowing you to play. Like, that's why Deshaun Watson is so good. Same exact thing happened this week. He gets down 14-0 again. He's literally one of the best historical quarterbacks at playing from behind for fantasy because of that. But it also helps when you throw 626 times in the year for Jameis Winston's standpoint, and you throw 30 picks to help you get there. I'm trying to look at this right now. So, yeah, Jameis averaged like 23 yards per game last year rushing. I mean, that's more than Rodgers does this year. That's basically what Deshaun Watson is doing this year. Sal, how the hell are people stacking Tannehill and Derrick Henry? Yeah, I don't think anybody was going to stack him with Henry. Just stack Tannehill with like Corey Davis and A.J. Brown or Jonnu Smith, who actually finally had a good game for the first time in a while. A lot of pros play the showdown cash, but they throw something into everything. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? They're trying to get as much exposure. Like pros are playing like showdown tennis because they think they have an edge. I personally think showdown cash is not that much of an edge. Like, yeah, on tonight's slate, it's a little bit more difficult, but most slates, you play a kicker, you play two of the quarterbacks, you get the high exposure and the high usage target share quarterback or wide receiver in there, and then the next wide receiver who fits in. Like, that's how you can build a pro cash game lineup, right, or a pass catching running back. It's relatively simple to do it and easy to see what the cash lineup would be tonight, right? But that being said, it's still extremely highly variant. McLeaner says, hey, Sal, who are your favorite punt plays in tonight's weird slate? One big with Hurts yesterday. Let's win big again. Keep it up. Hey, congrats to you, my good friend. Punt plays tonight that look decent. Jalen Samuels, if Anthony McFarland is out. Outside of that, below $4,000, you're not looking at much here. The Bengals D is just an option because they're down there and they can't get hurt and they have a lot of opportunity on defense, right? Special teams. There's just not a lot of options. Like P. Ryan, I think probably sees like 6 touches. Those 6 touches against his defense, if it's not going for a 1-yard touchdown, is probably resulting in like 12 yards. So yeah, your options are not great. I would say that below, let's just say $5,000, Boswell, Samuel, James Washington, that's about it. Favorite Super Draft plays besides Finley? Yeah, the favorite Super Draft plays outside of that will be Mr. Benny Snell. Also sign up for Super Draft down below if you want to. Support the channel, support Super Draft. Have a lot of fun. Win the dollar riskies. But Deontay Johnson, Juju, Big Ben, Benny Snell, Boswell is decent. If you think Jalen Samuel sees a lot more touches this week, he will definitely be there at 2.3x. How much Claypool do you have tonight, Mr. Sal? I have, including Captain Claypool, which I have 4% of. I have Claypool in 27% of my lineups. Hey, Sal, love the content. Riding your pick. Hey, James Washington or Bernard? I'll go with Washington there. Hey, Sal, how much Steelers D do you have? I have Steelers defense in 20% of my lineups. Trevion Williams, question mark? I currently have 0% Trevion Williams. I currently have 0%. I know what he did last game, but he did that in a game where Giovanni Bernard wasn't on the field for 50% of the game due to banging up his lower body. But Trevion Williams is a really good running back. So if they thought they saw something there out of him last week, which he did play decent, had a couple of receptions, 15 touches. Trevion Williams, if they decide, hey, let's just give this guy some more touches tonight, I would not be shocked. But if everybody in the field or a lot of the field is going to want to be like, hey, I want to play Trevion Williams 10%, that's over-owning the guy because you're just looking at last week without taking into the full context that Giovanni Bernard played 20% of the snaps. Do not expect that to happen again. Trevion Williams, I expect to be his normal role, which was like 10% of the snaps in week 12, right? 10% of the snaps and 2 touches. Like, more times than not, I think that's what you get out of him. I don't think you get the 40% that he got last week in 15 touches because I think Giovanni Bernard's actually going to be on the field. Fellas, says Alan. What's up, my man, Alan? How are you doing, my man? Juju or Johnson? Johnson for me. Risky having Steelers defense as the captain? Yeah, they're expensive. They need defensive scores. They need 1 to 2 defensive touchdowns for that to really pay off for you. So yeah, it's obviously risky. It will be lower owned though, but the Steelers defense is going to be relatively high owned. Like, if a defense is coming in at that price point at 35% owned, they have to get you there. They have to score 15 plus points, probably closer to 18 to 20 to really be a captain winner for you. So yeah, it's pretty highly owned for that to happen for a defense. Any Anthony McFarland love? He was a healthy scratch last week. They just said, we don't want you on this team. So they healthy scratch him, coach's decision. So if I'm assuming it's going to happen to him again. I'm assuming he's going to be inactive again, but we'll see. How many people splitting this milli? 100? I'll say 200. How many people we got in here right now? Damn, we really be hitting 1,000 people on this slate. Yo, nice. Y'all cool people, yo. One entry. Your must captain is, I'll go to Steelers pass catcher, either Deontay or Juju. Flip a coin. I have more Deontay. Sal, why is Superdraft not available in Colorado? That would be your state. If Superdraft's not available somewhere, it's because of your state on new gambling sites, similar to like New York. Basically, there's a lot of legislation that has to get through right now, and for some reason it is backed up. So yeah, it's in the courts. It's not on them. It would be on your state. Alrighty, everybody. I think I'm going to bounce to go get my salad because I got to do I'm doing a game night with my buddies through Zoom in an hour and 10 minutes, so I got to get this stuff and get back. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Super Draft only. Stack 3. Steelers, big 3 with Big Ben at 1.5x captain. You don't have to stack in that, but yeah, the Steelers wide receivers look good. Notably Deontay and Juju on Super Draft. Yo, Salani Bennett, captain, not for me. Are your 4-2 lines ups mainly with Boyds and Higgins? No, it's kind of spread out. I've got ownership towards their defense. I've got ownership towards Finley. I've got ownership towards Gio. It's spread out. Sal, thanks for the help winning the dollars. You as well. Is Samuels out? Not that I know of. Hey, man, what about Ebron? Ebron's fine. Yeah, I got a 15. Actually, how much Ebron do I have? I'll give you the exact answer. No captain Ebron for me, but I have 13% Ebron, so he's decent. All right, everybody. Peace out, gang. Merry Christmas. I will not be live again. Maybe until next Monday. I might go live tomorrow night, but I have a lot of work to do. Schedule some more stuff. If I'm feeling it, maybe I'll go live tomorrow at like 4:30 for the NBA slate. That video is already out, so check it out. Patreon projections are down below for that. So, what kind of salad? I customize it, but it's a Cobb salad that I customize. Smoke all the pot you want, but do not play fantasy sports. My man Kirk is losing his mind. All right, peace out, gang. See you in the next one. Content for the week. Video tomorrow. No video tomorrow. The NBA one's already out. Wednesday, we'll be breaking down the Saturday slate. Thursday, the main Sunday slate. Friday, we'll have an NBA Christmas video and the showdown video for football. Maybe I'll do that one, dude, on Saturday. But no live streams this weekend because I will be traveling. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy the holiday season. Enjoy Christmas, whatever you're celebrating. See you in the next one, gang. Peace out.